Hello, friends. Why did Deep reject James's proposal? What was James's reaction when he learned the truth? Deep sat silently on the steps of the house. The moonlight shone down on her pale face. Red eyes, probably from crying too much. She still couldn't understand what was happening to her. I have never slept with the night before. How can I get pregnant? This question swirled in her mind, made her worry to the point of losing sleep and appetite. An invisible fear arose in her heart, an unprecedented feeling of insecurity. She needs answers. The next day, Deep quietly went to the hospital to check your health status. She didn't tell anyone, including James. She knew if he knew about this, he will definitely be confused and worried. But she didn't want to bother him when his company was in so much trouble. Meanwhile, James was completely unaware. He is busy with plans to expand the company. Today, he and his partner went to a large plot of land in the suburbs to survey for upcoming project. Despite the pile of work, but in his mind he always thought of Deep. After all, I need to give her a name. James clenched the steering wheel in his heart and made up his mind. In the afternoon, after finishing work, he drove straight to a high-end jewelry store. He carefully chose the most beautiful engagement ring, the most exquisite, in the hope that Deep will like it. He did not expect that she would deliberately avoid him. In the evening, James drove to Deep's house. On his hand was a bouquet of fresh flowers and an engagement ring box. I was mentally prepared for the sweetest proposal. But when he got there, the gate was closed. James frowned and called her, but no one answered. He waited for a while, then turned around and went home with a heavy heart. As soon as his car left, Deep quietly walked out from a small alley nearby. She knew James was coming to find her, but she was not ready to face him. She bowed her head and muttered to herself, "One cannot accept this proposal." The next day, Deep returned to the hospital to get the test results. The doctor looked at her with a puzzled look and then spoke. The results showed she was not pregnant. Deep was stunned and could not. "I am really late and have symptoms like nausea, dizzy." Doctor smiling. "Could be due to stress or some hormonal problem, but she is definitely not pregnant." She could hardly believe her ears. A sense of relief welled up in her heart, but at the same time it made her feel guilty towards James. She has been avoiding him. Fear in vain, while he just wanted to give her a good future. What should I do? Will James forgive her for avoiding him? Deep left the hospital with heavy steps. The afternoon wind blew gently through her long hair, but in her heart she did not feel comfortable at all. "I'm not pregnant, but why do I have these symptoms?" She knew she couldn't explain it, but at least she had an answer. Nothing too scary. There is no mystery that cannot be solved. But when hearing the doctor confirm, she felt empty again. Is it because in her heart there is a part looking forward to a small family with James? She looked up at the sky, is gradually turning into sunset. She can't keep avoiding him forever. I have to face James. She took a deep breath and quietly left the hospital. That evening, James came to Deep's house again, but this time she was home. He did not knock on the door immediately, but stood silently in front of the gate for a long time. He doesn't understand why she avoids him. Why didn't she pick up his call? He just knew that he couldn't let go of her hand. Finally, he took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Deep hesitated for a few seconds, but then opened the door. Both faced each other, but no one spoke. His eyes softened when he saw her tired face. "Why do you avoid me?" His voice was low but could not hide the hurt. Deep bowed his head, not knowing how to respond. James took a step forward and gently pulled her hand. "Deep, I don't know what you're afraid of, but I really want to be with you." She was silent. James took the ring box from his pocket and slowly opened it. "I have been planning to propose to you for a long time. I know you deserve a title." Deep's eyes filled with tears. She can't deny that she loves him. But what happened in the past scare her. James heard her voice tremble. "One cannot accept this proposal." James clenched his hands, his eyes filled with pain. Why did she shake her head? "Not because I don't love you, but because I'm not ready." Space falls silent. James looked at her for a long time and then sighed softly. "I will wait for you." He did not force her, not angry. Just say a short sentence like that and leave. But his eyes, before turning away, carry a deep sadness. Deep stood still, watching his back fade into the night. She suddenly realized that she didn't want to lose him. The next morning, Deep decided to meet James. She can't let him misunderstand like that forever. She came to his company, but was told that he is surveying a new plot of land with a partner. Without hesitation, she took a taxi to where he worked. When she arrived, she saw James discussing with a group of people. He stood there, calm appearance but faces more tired than before. Maybe because of last night, Deep took a deep breath and approached James. He turned back, somewhat surprised to see her. Deep, why did you come here?" She stood in front of him, looking straight into his eyes. "I'm sorry," I groaned in shock. "I'm sorry." She nodded. "I know I hurt you last night, but not because I don't want to be with you. I just need more time." James looked at her for a long time and then smiled softly. "I told you I would wait for you." A warm feeling spread into Deep's heart. She knew as long as James was there, she will not be afraid anymore. In the following days, James and Deep gradually returned to normal, although not officially accepted the proposal. But she no longer avoided him. One evening, James came to her house. This time no longer bring ring box, but just a small bouquet of roses. "I know you're not ready. Then we can stay together. Wait until I'm ready." Deep smiled and nodded slightly. "Yes, and that's it." Their love has a new chance to blossom. After James left, Deep stood silently in front of the porch, her heart filled with 100 thoughts. She refused his proposal, not because she doesn't love him, but because in her heart there are still too many conflicts, unable to resolve. Am I really worthy of James? She is a normal girl. Live in the countryside with fields, gardens, chickens and ducks. Meanwhile, James is a successful chaw, accustomed to big negotiations, lavish parties, $1,000,000 figures. They belong to two different worlds. She doesn't want to be a burden to him, but her heart cannot stop turning towards him. James returned to the company after being rejected, but he was not discouraged. He understood that Deep had her own worries. But that doesn't mean he will give up on her. Instead of pressuring her, he chose to silently care for her. He still comes to her house once a week to help her mend the fence, watering the vegetable garden, even learn how to take care of chickens and ducks. Deep watched him work hard in the yard. Her heart was filled with an indescribable feeling. James, a man who only knew meetings, now kneeling down to repair the broken chicken coop. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but she knew one thing for sure: he never left her. One day, when Deep was going to the market to sell vegetables, a strange man approached her. "You are Lai Deep, right?" She was surprised. "Yes, I am," the man smiling faintly. "Aren't you afraid that one day James will leave you? She is just a country girl, and he is the CEO of a large corporation. She thinks she can keep him forever." Deep clenched her fists, trying to stay calm. "I don't know who you are, but please, don't interfere with me and him." The man snorted and walked away. Deep felt her heart suddenly become heavy. The stranger's words were like a sharp knife, cut into her deepest fears. Will there be a day when James really leaves me? She didn't want to think about it, but the worries just kept coming back. After many events, in the end, the love between Deep and James remained steadfast. The misunderstanding, challenges, fear once made them falter, but it is also those things that help them understand each other better and appreciate each other more. Deep, from a simple country girl, has gradually become stronger. Learn to face your love without any more avoidance. She realized that love is not a matter of two different worlds, but is the harmony between the sincere hearts. James, from an ambitious CEO, also learned to be patient. Accept that love is not always smooth sailing. Smooth sailing, but need understanding. Wait and tolerate. The ring that James gave Deep, not just a promise, but also a testament to his lasting love. He did not force her, but was always there, edge ready to wait until the day she really wanted to start a new life with him. Although the future is full of challenges, but their love found a solid foundation to go forward together. So where will the love between Ren and Deep go? They will have a happy ending, or continue to face new events? The answer lies in the next chapters of their lives. Please leave a comment